Your friends are scrolling through short content, but you, my friend, you're here to learn. Welcome to the RAAAZ Clips. When you're a member of the opposition, what's your professional life like?
It depends what you're doing in the opposition.
Okay.
So if you're, for instance, I would say that the opposition in India, you tend to sort of, the opposition is always holding the government accountable. But as elections get closer and closer, the gears start to shift. So today, for instance, you're seeing the opposition. And when I say the opposition, not just at the party level, not just at the leadership level, but at my level, at somebody in Raghav Chadda, who you interviewed yesterday, Shiv Sena, any other opposition parties, the gears are starting to shift. You're now moving into higher gears. Because now is the time when opposition gets very active about increasing the intensity about exposing the government. So it's an interesting question because there's a window when the government has time, and regardless of which government's in power, to get certain things done which otherwise would be very controversial, where the opposition might be willing to concede, might be willing to work together. As elections start to approach, that window starts to close. So I think now what will start happening is you'll start seeing a far more belligerent opposition. You'll start seeing everybody pulling their socks up, getting very, very active. In Mumbai recently, we had the India opposition meet.
Let's talk about that as well.
Sure.
Raghav spoke about it yesterday. Again, from an outsider's objective perspective, this was the obvious political move that everyone who's not BJP had to do. You all had to come together and figure what's next.
I'm not sure if we had to come together. We didn't come together in 2018, 1 year before the 2019 election. The opposition didn't come together. It doesn't. I wouldn't say we had to do it. There's always been two fronts, and then there are people who do their own thing broadly in India. I mean, very broadly, that's India's political history for you.
Sure.
What seems to be shaping up, Ranveer, which is unique in our country's political history, is there are now two very distinct fronts. And the third sort of front, if you will, are becoming now irrelevant, niche, irrelevant entities. Everybody is joining either front A or front B. I was in Mumbai. I was very involved in organizing this, the 2-day event. And I think that it's what will come out of it, to be honest. I don't want to make a political statement here, but it's hard to predict. But I think what has certainly happened is that parties that otherwise were not even on talking terms, parties that otherwise didn't have a personal camaraderie and a personal relationship, are now extremely close. The leaders of both parties, of those parties, for instance, are now breaking bread together. There's, proverbially speaking, they're slapping each other on the back and joking with one another. They have a friendly relationship. There is a very strong camaraderie between them. And to me, that is a very big game-changing situation in Indian politics. So for instance, an Aam Party Congress, we didn't have the relationship 6 months ago that we have today. Trinamool Congress from West Bengal and the Congress Party didn't have the relationship we do today, that we didn't have it 1 year ago. So it's interesting. What I would broadly say is that, I've often said this, that politics is more disruptive than the internet. But what's very certain is that in India, when you have a two-way fight in almost every constituency, a two-way fight, BJP versus one candidate on the ballot, it becomes extremely hard for BJP to win that. And that's the direction that the opposition is going in. That's the direction that the India Alliance is going in. How do you ensure that there's no wastage of votes, that votes consolidate towards one candidate fighting against BJP?
So if you enjoyed this video, make sure you check out this playlist for more videos just like this. It's the RAAAZ Clips.